How does a private investigator find all of your secrets? What steps do they go through? What are the lengths they will go to get this information? When it comes to finding people's big secrets, the first place I usually go to isn't one of those super secret PI databases. Don't get me wrong, those super secret PI databases do have a ton of information in them, to be sure, and I will go over what they include in just a moment. But the first place I usually go to is Facebook. That is right. Social media is where you can get an absolute ton of information for free on just about anyone if you know how to look for it. On Facebook, you can get things like friends' names, family members' names, and information on whether they have kids, pets, what kind of cars they own, what are their favorite restaurants and movie theaters, you name it. People often share some precious information on Facebook. One big thing I often find on Facebook, though, is employment. That is right. People often show on their Facebook page where they work, and if they recently changed jobs, they're usually very excited and proud to share that information with friends and family. LinkedIn is another great place to find where someone works. After all, this is a site designed to help people find jobs and stay connected with their business connections. And both Facebook and LinkedIn are perfect places to get one of the most valuable pieces of information we private investigators need, and that is photos, or what we often refer to as ID shots of our subject. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. We often need photos if we are doing surveillance, or if we need to prove someone's identity in video or photos from a crime scene. And even if we don't have a specific need for the photo in the investigation, adding that photo to your reports adds another dimension to the report, making it stand out to the clients when they compare our reports to other PI's reports. Besides social media sites, I also make sure I spend some time on these three sites as well: Google, Bing, and DuckDuckGo. Yes, I use these three go-to search engines on almost every case when I need to find some of those deep, dark secrets people are hiding. Just doing some quick queries on a subject by name can be quite revealing, but I don't just type in their name and hit enter and call it a day. I use some advanced search methods like putting their names in quotes. I will search by first and last name, first, middle, and last name, first name, middle initial, and last name, middle name, and last name, comma, first name, and other variants. I will also search these methods with the names of towns, cities, or states where they have lived in separate quotes. And I will search for files with people's names in it by putting the file type : file extension after the name search. I will search for PDF files, Word files, Excel spreadsheets, and other common file types. Doing this, you can often come up with things like resumes, news articles, social media accounts, court records, email addresses, and actual emails, and other hidden information. But often people hide things like judgments, criminal convictions, civil lawsuits, real estate, and other assets. Private investigators are then tasked with finding this information about our subjects that is not really available in all the public domain with a quick search. So how do we go about getting that information? Here's where those super secret PI databases come into play. These databases are available for most PIs to access that meet certain criteria and pass the database company background check. But there is a cost to have access and a cost per search or per report, and those costs vary from one company to the next. Some of the more popular database companies that PIs use are IRB Focus, IDI Core, TLO, and Clear, just to name a few. I always suggest for every private investigator to utilize 2 or 3 databases, as you will get varying levels of information for each one, and by using more than one, you can get more comprehensive data and validate the information you do get. Some of the more common things we're asked to look for include criminal records, licenses, property addresses, phone numbers, sexual offenders registry, lawsuits, and social security numbers. But there are some things we cannot get legally without the subject's written permission, like credit scores, credit history, and tax returns. Legally obtained information is critical for all private investigators, as illegal information is, well, first illegal, and second, not admissible in court. And if you try to get it admitted in court, the fact that it was obtained illegally could lead to the entire investigation not being admitted into court. Not to mention the legal ramifications, which can be quite severe, that the PI and most likely their client would face. Now, if you get on Google and do a quick search for background checks, you will come up with a lot of those companies out there that make big promises for little money, and they often provide very few quality results. The data they are usually using is data that is commonly found on the open domain by just doing basic Google searches. They just combine it all into a nice, neat little package. And then they will often lead you down many rabbit holes asking for more money to get a little more data, which leads to more money needed to get even more information. And often people get sucked into doing monthly subscriptions. If that is all you need is a little information on someone, then using those types of sites may be the way to go. But if you want to get that hard to find hidden information, the data and the details, then using a private investigator is the way to go. The average super secret PI database can get a ton of information on just about anyone. As well, PIs are usually adept at getting information from county court records, state criminal records, court systems, federal courts, and even municipal records. A big misconception people have is that PIs are expensive compared to all those cheap sites on the internet. But how much does a background from a PI really cost? To answer this question, we first need to understand that not every PI works the same way or offers the exact same products or services. For instance, one PI may offer basic backgrounds where they just run a quick report on one of their super secret databases, then gather the necessary data and present it to their client in their own report. A basic background like that might cost around $150 to $200, where a PI that does comprehensive backgrounds that includes running the subject on 2 or 3 databases, scouring the internet for those hidden gems, checking local, state, and federal courts, and other things may charge in the $600 to $800 range per background. Yes, compared to getting a $25 instant background on one of those internet sites, this could seem to be a bit expensive, but remember, you often get what you pay for.